Hey, it's Enigma Hood, and I know how I said I wasn't going to talk about 3D Realms anymore, but 3D Realms and Duke Nukem Forever is just a story that doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to die yet, and there is still news that I have to talk about. I don't have a choice. Well, Take-Two, the publisher for Duke Nukem Forever, is suing 3D Realms. This is actually not, well, I guess I'm a little surprised because I wasn't aware that Take-Two actually invested any money in 3D Realms, but now I'm getting some contradictory information here. But yeah, Take-Two is suing whatever is left of 3D Realms. Let me just close up AIM. Okay. I will read the news post. Take-Two Interactive Software Incorporated filed a breach of contract suit against Apogee Software Ltd. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is that Apogee Software Ltd. is 3D Realms. Now, that is different from Apogee Software LLC. That is the craptastic company that is creating the Duke Nukem trilogy for the portables. That's a completely different company. It has nothing to do with 3D Realms other than the name, but it's a different company and it's not involved with the development of Duke Nukem Forever. Okay, this week in Manhattan court over the developers continually delayed Duke Nukem sequel. Details of the suit were not disclosed in a report by Bloomberg, nor has the New York City County Civil Court provided specifics about the damages Take-Two is seeking. According to the complaint, Apogee repeatedly assured Take-Two and the video gaming community that it was working diligently towards completing development of the PC version of Duke Nukem Forever. Well, I have to say I agree with Take-Two. 3D Realms has indeed assured the video gaming community, has assured Take-Two that they were working on this game and that they were going to ship it. They promised us. They promised us and they failed us. They failed the gaming community. They failed Take-Two. They failed everyone. So I'm with Take-Two on this. There is nothing that can be gained, by the way. To all the fanboys who I'm sure are really mad at Take-Two right now for suing their cult leader, George Broussard, you have to realize that nothing can be gained from 3D Realms just getting away with this. Actually, there's a lot to be gained from Take-Two winning this lawsuit, because perhaps one of the things that they can get is, well, I don't know what they can get. Here's the other source, which actually, it claims that, there's another source that I'm reading that claims that it invested at least $12 million into the game. Now that contradicts what was previously established, that Take-Two never invested any money into this game during the development at all. If it did, then they would have leverage in requiring a release date. They would be able to say, this is the deadline, and you have to ship it by this date, or breach a contract or something like that. However, you know, if they didn't, then they don't have that kind of leverage. And I was always under that impression that they never invested any money, and that's why they were never able to have that kind of leverage over 3D Realms. You know, I really don't know what the truth is, and I'm pretty sure we're not really gonna know all the details right away. Now, as for now, my hope is that George Broussard loses everything that he has, whatever the fuck he has left. I hope he loses it all, along with Scott, and they wind up in a homeless shelter or something. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. Now, how liable is 3D Realms? Now that I'm not too sure. We have to keep in mind though that 3D Realms, or Apogee Software, is not an LLC. It's not a limited liability company. That's the other Apogee, the one that's making the portable games. But this is not the one that's in the lawsuit. This is the real Apogee, and it's an LTD. Now, an LTD is a private company limited by shares. So that means that they don't have shareholders like Microsoft does. It's not a public company like that. It's not a corporation. They do have shareholders, but they are private. Private shares by private investors, I guess. I don't know who the investors are. And from what I've researched a little bit about it, there is a limited liability. It's not as liable as like a proprietorship. Which originally, I actually thought that 3D Realms was a proprietorship, or at least a partnership, but it turns out it is actually, they do have shareholders. I just don't know who they are, but I'm willing to bet. Now, I could be mistaken about this, and if anyone knows for sure, please, send me a private message about, and give me some more information, but I would bet that the shareholders, I think maybe Take-Two might be some shareholders, and if that is the case, then I think that George Broussard and 3D Realms has responsibilities and is liable for them. So that means that they can be sued. I think Take-Two knows what it's doing when it files a lawsuit. They're not just going to file a lawsuit if they don't think that they're going to win. I'm sure that they talked it out with their lawyers and they have a good chance of winning. And I want them to win. And I know the fanboys are going to hate me for saying that, and I really don't care, because I have to tell the truth. There's nothing that can be gained from George Broussard getting away with the bullshit that he did. And I know what he's doing now. He's writing recommendations for his former employees that he had to fire. And I'm thinking, wow, you're getting a recommendation from a complete fuck-up. That's not really going to help your chances in the video game industry. Well, I don't know what else to say about this. If anyone has any more information, if you know a little bit more about companies than I do, and my knowledge on how companies and liability works in a private company limited by shares is limited. I don't really know that much about how liable they are. If you know some more information, please get in contact with me and let me know. And well, we'll see what happens. I don't think we're going to find out what happens with this lawsuit anytime soon. It usually takes a long time for these things to be heard. But guess we'll have to wait and see.